Hello and welcome to another dev diary for Imperator Rome. This time, again, we're going to be talking about the monarch power and the way that it changed into being political influence and the ramifications of that. And if you've been playing with the Cicero beta, this is going to be like last week's, nothing new, really. But let's dive into it anyway and see what's what. So, before we dive... No, I said dive in. You can't say it too. Damn it. Explain a little bit about the impetus behind the changes. I think we all know what the impetus behind it was. It was the massive community backlash against monarch power. It was bad. It's always been bad. It's bad in EU4 and it was bad in Imperator Rome. And changing to political influence was a massive and just... It's just a huge improvement. Like, it's can't be understated how much it improves the game. After reading the reams of feedback on the subject and considering all the available options, we elected to look at reworking the entire concept of monarch power in the Cicero update. The community issues with the 1.0 monarch power system could be broadly boiled down into two main categories: lack of control over the stats your monarch or ruler has, and the inconsistency of the varying purposes power was intended to be used for. Also, just the utter illogicalness, is that a word? It is now, of the system as a whole. Like, it made no sense, and God, it's so unbelievably gamey. It's not... It does not lead to any amount of immersion, in my opinion. And again, like I said, this is the same for EU4. I've got almost 5,000 hours in EU4. It's had monarch power the entire time I've played it. The entire time it's been a game. I still hate monarch power in EU4. I always have done. It's a horrible mechanic. It is the biggest weakness of that game, which is one of the reasons I still think that Imperator has the potential to be the best Paradox game, purely because it's gotten rid of the biggest weakness of EU4. Anyway, in essence, we needed a system that acted as an anti-snowballing mechanic, felt like something a player had control over, and which avoided any unnecessary abstraction, both conceptually and in terms of practical use. Enter political influence. It's intended to represent exactly what it describes: the influence that a government or nation has over their own political establishment. Just to go on a little tangent again for the third time. People have one of the nicknames, let's say, for monarch power is mana. It's a derogatory term that was, for grand strategy games, it was coined for EU4. But obviously mana goes back to, any kind of... Diablo had mana, and these kind of games, like Baldur's Gate, had mana. I don't know what the first one to have it was. I don't know where it originates from, but for grand strategy games, it started with EU4. And mana is a way to belittle, I guess, the mechanic. And it, I think, perfectly sums up what it is. It's magic pool of points that accrues over time that you can spend on things. And magic is one of the key words there. It makes no sense in a realistic setting. So I've seen quite a few people call political influence mana. And I disagree quite strongly with that. I do not think political influence counts as mana, because it's coming from a logical place. The way that your mana is gained, as you can see here, you gain some points, which, points, you don't have physical political tokens that constitute points, but that doesn't really matter. It's the political capital that your government has, the goodwill of your government to be able to do things. And if you have to abstract that as points, that doesn't make it mana. Just because it's an abstraction does not make it mana. It's where those points are coming from. The logic behind those points is what makes it mana, or not mana. And I think the abstraction for political influence is so much less than the abstraction for monarch power, or monarch points, or whatever, that I just don't consider this to be mana. Same with military experience. I don't consider it to be mana at all, and I know that I don't know if I'm in the majority or the minority with that, but I know that there is people who disagree with that, and I disagree with them. So yeah, off tangent once more. The way in which it's produced is also directly related to the political establishment. Each primary office holder in your nation will contribute to the PI gain of your nation based on their loyalty to your cause. The more loyal your cabinet, the less practical power you'll have to perform the various actions associated with PI. The more loyal your cabinet, the less practical power you will have to perform various actions associated with PI. I don't know if that's worded entirely correctly. I don't see the cost of things changing because of the loyalty. It's just the loyalty will give you more political influence. So at 100 loyalty, you get 0.25 from, say, your Praetor. So this Tribunus Plebis is going to be around about the 50 loyalty area. This Praetor may be about 85, 90, something like that, and somewhere in between for all of these. But yeah, I don't think that it changes the cost of things. Which leads me comfortably to the next topic we covered as part of the power rework, and point 2 of the community issues surrounding monarch power. A huge variety of actions that previously had token power cost have been redesigned to use one of our newer, more dynamic resources. Tyranny, stability, political influence, corruption, and aggressive expansion have more clear-cut purpose. The logical solution was to use these to represent the consequences of your actions, rather than attach an abstract cost-value ratio, such as bribery, selection of national ideas, inviting investment, and more. Lovely. So, of course, there are still actions that demand the use of more conventional currency. Gold plays a large part in a functional government of antiquity, perhaps even more so in the Cicero update. The power cost for inventions, for example, has been replaced with a scaling gold cost, representing the direct cost of investment into research and development. This is another thing that's been a little bit controversial. Some people, I should say, are not quite happy with this having a cost in money. There is a mod, Gladio et Sale, I think it's called, that instead of this has an extra bar in this screen where the inventions are, and when that fills up, then you get to choose an invention, and I believe it's due to your research rate as well that fills the bar. So that might be a way to do it, but I don't mind it having a currency cost as well. I think it's fine. I'm sure there are better ways to do it. I have to play around with the Gladio et Sale mod to see if I think that one is better, but for now I'm not overly displeased. I think it's okay. In addition to reworks to the cost of many actions and abilities, became quickly apparent that many actions needed no cost at all and functioned as their own opportunity cost or at a consequential cost. An example of this would be the assault ability for armies. The manpower lost during an assault vastly outweighed any token power cost, and as such had no action cost in Cicero. Citing an example of an opportunity cost, omens will no longer have an upfront price. The opportunity cost comes from being tied to your chosen omen for the entire duration, unable to switch or cancel the ongoing omen. And again, there's some people that don't like that omens have no cost, but yeah, I agree. You're tied to your omen for the entire time. So if you click it and you actually find out that you need something else, say you went with taxes, but yeah, your money's still fine. But then you get declared on and you're like, oh, I wish I'd gone for fort defense or manpower recovery or, something like that. That is its own cost, so I'm okay with that too. The one instance we felt was not covered by any of our new or old systems was military tradition mechanic. This needed something unique, and as such we needed a unique method by which to unlock and acquire traditions. It felt appropriate to treat traditions as a self-contained system, and the Cicero update will include a military experience resource. This will be generated over time at a modest base rate, but is modified by the average combat experience of your national cohorts. Military drill is introduced alongside this as a way for armies to maintain a certain level of experience during peacetime. The employment of mercenary forces will detract from a nation's military experience gain, but have been made vastly cheaper to maintain to compensate for this. So just to go over my thoughts on military experience, I quite like the system. I think it works pretty well. There was, I think it was a bug or maybe an oversight or something, where if you had, say, 100 military experience, you had like plus 20%, I think it was, morale, which was way too high. Crazy high. The other things that are a little bit iffy about it is mercenaries really aren't cost effective at all. Yes, they have been made cheaper to maintain, but it costs you, I think it's 5 military experience to hire a mercenary company. And that is a huge cost because you really want your military experience points. If it's 100, and it is 100, to get a new experience level, a tradition, and those traditions are, huge boosts in power sometimes, then yeah, losing 20% of that just to hire some mercenaries one time is painful. And also, having those mercenaries hired reduces the amount of experience you get. It's a huge cost. So there is that as well. So rulers will not be entirely without merit in the Cicero update, with each of the 4 statistics granting you bonuses to certain stats, scaled by the value of the stat itself. So Martial gives you manpower recovery and land morale recovery. Finesse gives you commerce modifier and build cost. Charisma is monthly tyranny decay and claim fabrication speed. And monthly stability increase and war exhaustion decay for Zeal. Zeal should be here. Yeah, I like this way more. It's making the stats of your ruler important, but not so important that if you are stuck with a bad ruler, your country may as well just sit still for 50 years. Yeah, no, it's so much better. It's so much better than the previous system. It's not even funny how much I believe that. It's yeah, it's great. And then to conclude, we realized early on in the testing cycle for these changes that it felt more organic, dynamic, and most importantly fun to utilize resources in this way. That said, if you wish to be the judges of this yourselves, the open beta for the Cicero update is still underway and we invite you to try it out. Again, I agree, it is more organic, it is more dynamic, and it is most certainly more fun. I am very much happy with this new system. And yeah, that's pretty much all I can really say. I mean, I've given my opinion on monarch power and military power and all that. Yeah, it's just a better way to do things. I guess maybe, yeah, there was nothing new in this dev diary. Let's see, I've got my own comment here. There was nothing new in this dev diary, but I guess I've used it as a way to give my opinion on the various systems. I mean, my opinions weren't exactly hidden. I didn't keep my opinions to myself. They have been out there in my other videos, if you've been watching those. But, just having them in one place is totally good as well, I guess. So, I would like to know what you guys think. Do you miss monarch power? Do you think EU4 would be better without monarch power? If you don't, you're wrong, but, whatever. Yeah, oh god, I can't stand it. It's really bad. But yes, I would like to know your thoughts on all of these things, so leave me a comment in the comment section below. Give me a like if you liked this video, and if you want to keep up to date with all Imperator news, then this is the channel to follow. So what do they say? Hit the bell. Yeah, ring the bell. Yeah, ring the bell. Something. I don't know what that does. Anyway, thank you all very much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.